Good evening and welcome to Fans Banter and welcome to our match preview of the Premiership game on Saturday evening between Liverpool and Newcastle. We'll be doing a live watch along. We hope that you can join us for that. But today we'll have a look at some of the players that may not be available to Arne Slot and the players that aren't available to Arne Slot that we know of. We'll also have a look at the head-to-head between Liverpool and Newcastle. We'll have a look at the recent form between the two teams. We'll do a score prediction and a possible lineup that Arne Slot could put out to face Newcastle on Saturday evening. So with that in mind, let's just have a look at the players that we know won't be available. Conor Bradley is not going to be available, Isak is not going to be available, and Giovanni Leone is not going to be available. We have no real news on Frimpong other than it's a muscle injury. That's what Arne Slot has said. So he also said it's unlikely that he'll be fit for Saturday. No further news on Joe Gomez, so we don't know if he's going to be available to play or not. And also Arne Slot doesn't at the moment, according to his after match press conference, know if Konate is going to be available for selection either. So that leaves us a bit down to the bare bones really. Other than that, we'll have to base our team selection later on in the video on that little bit of information. So with all that in mind, let's just have a look at the head-to-head between Liverpool and Newcastle. So these are the last 5 games between the two teams. We start off at the top. Liverpool beat Newcastle 4-2. They also then had a 3-3 draw. Liverpool-Newcastle, a 2-0 for Liverpool. Liverpool, a 2-1 loss to Newcastle. That was the Carabao Cup final. And Newcastle versus Liverpool, a 3-2 win to Liverpool. So you can see recently, in recent times in the Premiership, Liverpool have had the better of the fixture. And there's definitely goals in the fixture, that's for sure. So with that in mind, let's go on and have a look at the recent form of the two teams in the Premiership itself. Yeah, so the recent form for Liverpool in the Premiership, as we know, is not good. We start off at the bottom this time. So a 0-0 draw to Leeds. Then we had a 2-2 draw to Fulham. Then we had a 0-0 draw with Arsenal. Then a 1-1 draw to Burnley. And a 3-2 loss to Bournemouth. So yeah, not great form in the Premiership. Arne Slot must be dreading the Premiership really. He's at home in the Champions League where Liverpool do much better. So let's have a look at our opponents, Newcastle. We start at the bottom as well. A 3-1 win against Burnley. A 2-0 win against Crystal Palace. A 4-3 win against Leeds. Recently a 0-0 draw against Wolves, and then a 2-win game against Aston Villa. Sorry, a 2-0 win to Aston Villa. So yeah, you can see that probably Newcastle are in much better form in the Premiership than Liverpool are. So with all that in mind, what sort of team will Arne Slot will put out? Look, it's very difficult to pick a team selection for this weekend because we don't know who's around, who's available, who's going to be back. So it's very, very difficult. So what I've tried to do is to base the team on the information that I have making this recording. So there may be further updates from Arne Slot tomorrow, maybe before the match, who knows. But so what I've done is I've made the decision that Konate is not going to be available. I've also made the decision that Joe Gomez is not going to make it, and that Frimpong is not going to make it. And then the usual substitutes that we know, the usual injuries that we know are not going to be available for selection. So here's what I've gone with. So what sort of team would I put out? Well, I've sort of gone on the information that I have, which is all I can do. I can only go on what I hear in the press conference and base my selection on that, so to speak. So this would be the kind of selection I'd put out, the team I would put out based on that information. Well, I've gone for Alisson in goal. I've gone for Virgil van Dijk and Gravenberch again to be the central partnership. Gravenberch is not ideal there. He has played there a couple of times, but he just doesn't think like a defender. He's a midfield player. So, but I think he did all right against Karabakh, but they were a poor enough team. So I'd go for those two, Van Dijk and Gravenberch. I've gone for Kerkez. I think Kerkez will come back in for Andy Robertson. And I've gone for Endo out on the right. And that's because not sure about Joe Gomez. Not sure about Frimpong. although it's unlikely that he'll start. So they'd be the four I would go for at the back. Now, with Gravenberch going back into centre half, that leaves space for Jones to come into the midfield. And again, I'm still unsure about Jones, whether he has a knock on that. But we'll just pretend that he doesn't at this stage. And we'll go for McAllister, Jones and Szoboszlai in midfield. I think that's probably a solid selection. And up front, the three that have to start up front for me are Vert, Salah and Ekitike. I think they did well against Karabakh during the night, and I expect them to do sort of well against Newcastle. I think there'll be plenty of space in the game, to be quite honest with you. I think it will be hectic, but I think there'll be plenty of space around the pitch for these players to be able to find areas where they can do their work. So that would be my starting 11 for Arne Slot, and that'd be my starting 11 to play against Newcastle, based on what I have, the information that I have at the moment, and yeah, we'll see how they get on with that. So our player in focus for the game will be Hugo Ekitike this weekend. I think he'll be crucial to Liverpool doing well in the game. I do like the way he causes a bit of havoc in defences with his speed and his ability to be able to hold up the ball. He's a strong lad, and he can actually hold up the ball very well, and he's very hard to get off the ball actually. So yeah, I think he'll be our key player this weekend, Hugo Ekitike. Let's hope he can get a couple of goals. Let's hope he can cause a bit of chaos with those runs that he's starting to go on now these last few matches. Yeah, so my player in focus for a Liverpool win to help us beat Newcastle will be definitely Hugo Ekitike. So yeah, with all that said and done, that would be the team I'd put out to face Newcastle at the weekend. We hope that you can join us for the watch along. We'll be live about a half an hour before the game kicks off. And after that, we'll have a match reaction, and then we'll have a player ratings video to follow that watch along up. So yeah, I look forward to the game. Look forward to seeing you there. Hope you can join us in the chat. And until then, cheerio, take care and look after yourselves.